97% of diets will fail, and I'm going to explain why and how to overcome it. Hey team, and welcome to this week's episode of The Inspired Show, the show that is dedicated to helping you become the best version of yourself, mentally as well as physically. We've got a great episode for you today if you've been stuck in that dieting cycle of losing a few pounds, gaining a few pounds, and you feel stuck. But before we delve into it, if you've not done so already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It means you stay updated with every single episode we drop every single week. Smash a like on this video, hit that share button and share it with somebody who may benefit. And don't forget, next month, our 8-week transformation challenge is starting, so make sure you get on the priority list using the link down below. Unfortunately, 97% of diets will fail. And it's not because you're lazy, you're demotivated, or you lack willpower. It's that most diets set you up to fail. And today's episode, we're going to go through the pitfalls that are common with most diets so you can build awareness around them and what you need to be doing instead, not just from a food point of view, but a movement and mindset point of view, so you can start making changes to your lifestyle so you can see the weight loss that you want. Firstly, why do diets fail? One of the biggest reasons they fail is because they focus so much on restriction. Certain diets will get you to cut out sugar, cut out carbs, cut out fats, cut out meals. And when you create this restriction, it is never going to be long lasting. A lot of diets, they force you to try and focus on willpower. And unfortunately, even the people with the best discipline in the world only have a limited amount of willpower. A lot of them, they create unrealistic expectations where you will see a lot of results fast, but they are simply not sustainable in the long run. And in most cases, they don't really identify the real reasons or help you overcome these reasons as why you're stuck, i.e. your bottlenecks, things like your relationship with food, emotional eating, stress drinking, lack of support, lack of accountability. Unless you address these, then you are always going to fail on every single diet. So what is it we actually need to start seeing changes in how we look and how we feel? Well, one of the most important cornerstones of any successful lifestyle change is building better habits and building better behaviors. Focus on building habits on your nutrition. For example, getting more protein into your diet, adding in more fiber, more nutrient-dense foods, staying on top of your hydration, building habits around movement, whether it's walking the dog a little bit more, parking further away, getting into a routine of doing some activity like swimming, running, or going to the gym. And also building habits and behaviors around your mindset, like planning your week, managing your stress, your self-care, and being cautious of who you surround yourself with. We also want to have a big focus on sustainability. And from a food point of view, I'm a big believer of the 80-20 rule. This is where 80% of the time you focus on the more nutrient-dense foods, foods that are going to nourish you, make you feel good, and give you all the goodness your body needs to thrive, not just survive. But then 20% of the time, enjoy yourself. Let your hair down if you do have any hair. And this is including things like your takeaways, your chocolates, if you like a drink every now and again. And there's nothing wrong with that. And when you create that freedom, it doesn't feel as restrictive and it doesn't feel like you're on a diet. Another important part of being successful is making sure that we focus on some sort of structure in our life, like planning the week ahead, planning your movement, the meals that you're having, just something to help you stay accountable. And a really important pillar is making sure we're in the right frame of mind as well. Understanding that changing how our body looks and feels is going to take a little bit of time, because a lot of people have this expectation that they need to change everything right away. And if they don't, they fail. They also fall into the trap of perfectionism, where if they're not perfect 100% of the time, then what's the point in trying? And coming away from these types of mindsets is super important if you want to make real lifelong change that's flexible around you and your family. Like I mentioned earlier, a big thing that a lot of diets neglect is the emotional and mindset side of things. They do not address people's emotional eating behaviors, their stress eating behaviors. And if we don't address this, we're always going to stay stuck, because 9 times out of 10, when people are failing, it's not so much the food itself, it's what they're using the food for. They're using the food to soothe trauma. They're using it to overcome boredom. They're using it to fill that void when they're feeling down. And unless you're addressing these situations, you're always going to stay stuck. So bringing an awareness to what your triggers are, when they are happening, what environments, who's around you, then building better coping mechanisms alongside improving nutrition is key to success. And one of the best ways to start doing and improving on this is journaling. Writing down your thoughts and feelings. And really simple ways at the end of the day, write down what went well, what didn't go as well, what can we learn from today, what you did in stressful situations, and then using it as an awareness tool. Another tool that we use inside our program is the bubble technique. breathe, observe, label, and decide. So when you're in that moment of wanting that urge for food or alcohol, it's taking a couple of deep breaths, breathing, and then observing what's actually going on, labeling that feeling, then deciding what to do other than using food or alcohol. And once you start addressing these mindset issues, it makes your nutritional journey so much easier and more likely to stick to. How can we bring this all together and make it a lifelong change? Well, one system that I use successfully with my clients, and I've used it myself as well, is the 5-step system. This is number 1, where we're getting really focused on the reasons why we want to change. And not just surface level stuff like I want more confidence or more energy, actually thinking about why you want more confidence, how it's impacting life right now, and how it's going to benefit your life. And thinking about all the reasons like that. Setting expectations that are realistic is step number 2. Half a pound to 2 pounds per week, and that's okay. Some weeks you're not even going to lose any weight, and that's okay because we're not measuring fat loss through the scales. When we step on the scales, we're measuring water, muscle, fat, bone density, food volume, all these other stuff. In terms of expectations, if you keep failing again and again and again, stepping back from diet mentality and building in habits and efforts over time, which takes us to step number 3, focus on efforts over outcomes. Because if you focus solely on the weight loss, then you are going to get stuck and you are going to yo-yo back up in weight because you've not built in the behaviors and efforts needed for long-term change. So instead of saying to yourself, this week I'm going to lose 3 pounds, tell yourself this week I'm going to stick to my calorie target through doing some meal planning, a bit of meal prepping, having steady meals throughout the day to stabilize blood sugars that are flexible and not too restrictive to help me stay within my calories. So you've got some effort-based goals to work towards there. And at the end of the week, instead of celebrating the weight you've lost, celebrate the efforts that you put in and sticking to those. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you're improving each week, you'll reinforce positive behaviors. Step number 4 is identifying those bottlenecks we spoke about earlier. And it will be different for different people. Some people will be emotional eaters. They'll be stress drinkers. They'll have poor sleep, lack of support, lack of accountability. Like once you start addressing these bottlenecks, that then moves into step number 5, which is consistency, not perfection. We're not looking to be perfect every single day because life isn't perfect. There are going to be times when you have weekends away, people's birthdays, Christmases, and holidays. So understanding when to push and when to pull is super, super important. And when you put all these together, this is how you make your lifestyle change work and overcoming the reason why your diet keeps failing again and again and again. So some action points from today's video is firstly, get clear on the reasons why you want to change. Secondly, set yourself some realistic targets and goals. Focus more on the efforts over the outcome. Think about what bottlenecks are holding you back and then start being consistent instead of trying to be perfect every step of the way. Hopefully you enjoyed this week's episode. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to smash a like, hit subscribe, and our 8-week challenge is starting in September where we help you with all this and more. So you can use the product list down below to get yourself registered for that. Until next time, guys, have an absolutely amazing day.